Hey guys, welcome back. Wanted to give you a little pre-market prep for the day. GameStop had earnings yesterday. They're actually pretty good. They were about what estimates were. If you watched my videos yesterday, I actually have the whole earnings call. We're going through a pandemic. They didn't. That wasn't terrible, honestly. And they announced kind of their future plans with, kind of how they're moving into kind of like gaming tournament cafe type stores, and then going to be selling more PC gaming gaming components, and then shifting a lot to e-commerce. But yeah, we won't go over that. Just wanted to talk to you really quick. Huge sell-off after earnings is all on real low volume hedges. This is like a different market. Basically, after hours trades differently. Not a huge deal. It could keep dropping. Hard to know. But if you look on the daily, could this be a bullish cup and handle? Yeah, it could be. Typically at the end of the cup, and there's the handle, which comes down, and then it goes crazy. Because let's see, where is it at right now? 181, so we're down here, I believe. 159, so where's that on here? That's right here. The Volkswagen short squeeze, we've gone over that a lot. It had about 3 or 4 days where the price just plummeted before the actual squeeze happened. I won't show you that picture again, but yeah, basically, let's go over some of the stuff here on the bullish news on GameStop. The earnings weren't all that bad, honestly. Like, they were pretty good, in my opinion. They were basically what they were expecting as far as the numbers go. And then, yeah, I mean, there's a whole earnings call. You guys can watch that. So I guess there was a price target raise from $15 to $175, which is huge, just based on the earnings call and their numbers. That was what's this guy's? Jeffries. I don't know if there's going to be other ones right away or not. We'll see. There could be some ones that lower their price target, but I don't know. This one is a pretty substantial, from 15 to 175. So this is what moves. This is the kind of stuff that moves stock prices typically in the stock market. Our analysts' price target, after earnings especially. So not to say GME is moving typical of most stocks, but this does create volume and create exposure on the bullish side. This is really good. There's a bunch of different filings. I'm never reading SEC filings, but basically, I guess additional board members expected to leave in June. Possible additional changes to senior executives. So just kind of more cleaning out the management now and putting in new people. Looks like it's re-election in June. We're talking about June, and then this change would leave only George Sherman and Kurt Wolf remaining, from who was on the board prior to the deal with RC Ventures. So that'll give Ryan Cohen more, I think, more power with these other people leaving, and then he'll be able to bring in more people from Chewy or Amazon or wherever else. So that's also good. And then here's what I was talking about. So on October 26th, Porsche announced their 74% stake in Volkswagen. 5 days later, actually meant to say 2 or 3 days later, the squeeze peaked. Now GameStop. Could this be similar? Yeah, it's up to you to decide. It is kind of interesting though. GameStop's at 154, and then let me show you this really quick before we jump to that. So in the 10K filing, someone mentioned it in the YouTube comments. Appreciate that. I looked over it. I mean, it's a huge document. I didn't find this, but this was pulled out from someone here on Wall Street Bets. This is New Werfers that found this. Basically, they just kind of define what's going on. It's crazy. So to the extent aggregate short exposure exceeds the number of shares of our Class A common stock, basically they're saying the short interest is more than the shares we actually have available for purchase in the open market. Investors with short exposure may have to pay a premium. That's the short hedgies. They're going to have to pay a premium to repurchase the shares of our Class A common stock for delivery to lenders. That's us, of our Class A common stock. Those repurchasers may in turn dramatically increase the price of shares. That's the short squeeze stock until additional shares of our classic common stock are available for trading or borrowing. It is often referred to as a short squeeze. So that's in their 10K filing. And then this other guy brought up a point about how common that is for that to come about in a 10K filing, these different phrases. And it's kind of interesting. So how often does extremely volatile appear in a 10K filing? 0.38%. So that's in the past 5 years, 0.38, not even 1%. The phrase is found in volatile in the past 10 years. In 10 years, it's 0.44%. How often does short squeeze appear in 10K filings? 0.023%. Virtually never, and that's 5 years. In 10 years, 0.017. That is nothing. How often does short exposure exceed the number of shares? 0.01%. In 5 years, 0.009 in 10 years. No one's ever. This is crazy. How often do short sellers appear in 10K filings? 0.14% in 5 years, 0.15 in 10 years. How often do insiders appear? That is kind of an interesting phase that they use. 1.8%, 1.7 for 5 and 10 years. How often does perception that such sales will occur? So this is basically predicting a short squeeze. 0.026% in 5 years, 0.021% in 10 years. Type of disclosure is extremely rare. Yeah. So, and I kind of read through part of it there. I think this one has a little bit more. Okay, well, basically GameStop come today, $154 strike price, and then they announce their 10K disclosure with their earnings, basically saying you guys have more shares shorted than there are available. You're going to pay a large amount of money to get those shares back that you've borrowed. Good luck. And if you look at Volkswagen, this is just comparing the two. The disclosure should give so-called short sellers, meaning financial institutions which have betted or are still betting on a falling share price in Volkswagen, the opportunity to settle their relevant positions without rush and without facing major risks. So this is short sellers telling them to get out before they get too screwed. You see how it happens from here. Best wishes. That also says 5 days. I meant 2. Yeah, 2 days later. So I don't know if it's this week, next week, or what. As I said in my other video, this gives me much better sentiment, but I'm kind of waiting a little bit to see price action and volume, and then I'll get more exposure. I've got a lot of exposure for this week. I don't have any for next week other than shares. So we will see. But there was one other thing I wanted to mention in here. This goes large proportion of the stock is shorted. What is it? 8K filing. Provide sufficient liquidity. Oh, this. Okay. Based on our current operating plans, we believe that available cash balances, cash generated from our operating activities, and net availability under our revolving credit facility will provide sufficient liquidity to fund our operations for the next 12 months as well as the foreseeable future. Yes, the company retains the option to make an ATM share offering, which is just basically share offering at the money. I don't remember what ATM is, something like that. They're plainly stating that as it stands right now, they don't need to do so to raise capital to meet their plans. So basically, they're making enough money. They have enough money. They don't need to have a share offering. I did read the part about the share offering. They have the option, I guess, and I don't know why they kind of said that. I feel like they would always have the option. But what he pulled out from this was that they won't be, because they have enough capital basically to run their company without needing to offer shares for more capital. So basically they're sticking it to them, more or less. Not to say that they won't offer shares, and this is concrete. Please mention internal placement is announced. Yeah, because I saw the ATM share offering, and but yeah, you can see right here. So it looks like they're good for the next 12 months. So they won't need to, which that's a little different than what AMC did and typically what others would do, but they're sticking it to them. That's kind of what I wanted to share, guys. This stock could come down and settle for a while like it did, but reading that stuff does give me more sentiment about it happening sooner rather than later. Stock market just opened. See what happens from here, guys. sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. And if you made it this far, type in the comments suits. 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 Thanks, guys. Peace out.